Mr. Riot. Hello.
It's actually a very, very
honest,
kind and gentle yawn, I felt like.
I don't know what the story is. I'm tired. Just am.
Every day. Well, let's...
like that study we read about, Nikki, I'm just going to be kind to myself.
I think so. Don't feel bad about it. And just, it doesn't mean we don't have to embrace it as to where it's like, we'll just be, if you need a nap today, have a nap today. If you need a nap tomorrow, take a nap.
Just be kind to yourself.
Do what you need to do.
Doesn't mean get yourself in a bind, but, a little kindness here and there.
And it also wouldn't be the start of our podcast without someone yawning.
I know, right? So, hey, in today's show, we do talk a bit about Tom Brady and the Super Bowl.
Yeah, including his diet in case you're like, how do I do that? And it gives you some ideas on what you need to do.
We got it for you. Buying bikes, self-heating cans of coffee, movie trailers, Dr. Jill Biden. Let's see, Cobra Kai, jalapenos covered in chocolate.
Possible Valentine's gift. I don't know if that should be the only thing if you're getting the chocolate-covered jalapenos, but it might be something.
And barking dogs and WandaVision.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Don't forget you might not hear it depending on what parts of the podcast you're checking in on, but we do have a special sale of free shipping on RadioU merchandise this week for Valentine's Week from the Riot. So if you check out shop.radiou.com and if you've ever wanted to get one of our merchandise items, free shipping this week, and we'll send you some Valentine's candy and you'll get a handwritten card from Obi and myself. That's at shop.radiou.com this week.
That's pretty awesome.
Yes, it is.
All right. Well, you guys have a great whatever today is. And we'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.
The definition of insanity is putting the riot on again and again and expecting a better result. It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
Obligatory Super Bowl reference, and my favorite commercial was.
Did you have one, or are you gonna? Why don't we farm like everybody's response throughout the morning, and then maybe we'll have one?
Yeah, of all the stuff. I mean, I looked at some. I thought the updated or the new Falcon and Winter Soldier
Did
promo,
you like that?
That looks pretty good.
That looks like a good, and it's a show, so you're gonna get that.
The thing I thought as I looked at it last night, I was like, yeah. So if they were afraid I was going to cancel Disney Plus when WandaVision was over, they have one more thing waiting for me when that's done.
Seems like they know enough to just keep going with that, to keep sprinkling it throughout the year.
There's 3 episodes of WandaVision left, which would carry us into the end of February. And then they said that Falcon Winter Soldier was March 18th or 19th, something like that.
Just enough.
Just in time, Nikki. Just in time.
So congratulations to Tampa Bay, the Buccaneers, 31-9 as they upset Kansas City. And this was Tom Brady's 7th win for a Super Bowl.
So I've been trying to understand. There are a lot of people that don't like Tom Brady.
Sure. Even when he was with the Patriots, that's just a thing.
Yeah. And I think it comes down to, I think Tom Brady is the Alabama of the NFL. I can't stand Alabama in college football. They drive me insane. Well, you know what I think it comes down to is I think I'm just tired of watching them win.
Sure.
They're amazing. They're always amazing. They are, in a lot of ways, the GOAT. I know as a Buckeye fan, I just bristle under that. But let's be honest. They're consistently win.
Okay, all right.
Well,
then Tom Brady's the same way.
But I think that explains to me, because as an outsider looking in, because I'm not a big NFL fan, I was thrilled to see Tom Brady win again, mostly because of his critics. I love seeing somebody that's just like, yeah, I'm in my 40s and I'm still killing it. So you guys
moving to a new team, still going and winning.
You guys thought I went off to the Buccaneers to die, because that's what people do, right? You go to Florida to retire, to whatever, and he's just like, nah, I came down here to win another Super Bowl. There's something about it. I mean, I like him and I don't like him.
Sure.
I mean, there's also a part of me that's like, he married the supermodel, 7 Super Bowl rings. It's like,
is there anything else?
Why am I so poor in masculinity when he is so rich? Could we share the wealth a little, Tom?
He's talented, and I think that showed again last night. He's very talented.
It did. I actually thought the game itself was a little boring.
Yeah, well, Kansas City, I mean, it was just, it was not a good evening.
Yeah, I didn't see, I can't attribute the quote right now, but it was out there. One of the Chiefs was like, yeah, I haven't been beaten like that in a long time.
Did you see, well, during certain parts of the game, did you watch where they were yelling on the sidelines to each other? Like, they were really mad. And you're like, oh my gosh, guys, don't fight with each other.
We're having a hard time.
Yeah, they just couldn't get it together. And we've seen games like that.
Yeah. So, hey, I hope you guys enjoyed the Super Bowl. Hope there were snacks, even if there weren't large parties. And if there were large parties, congratulations, super spreaders.
Even if you can't have a party, you can always have large amount of snacks, even if it's for yourself.
And you can just have that for Monday Night Monday.
That could be any day.
Whatever.
This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
So, Nikki, I am right now brewing our Mardi Gras King Cake coffee.
Yeah, okay.
And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, I think we missed Mardi Gras. I think it was like 2 weeks ago. It's not. Fat Tuesday will take place Tuesday, February 16th.
It's a little later than sometimes we think it is.
Yeah, so it's actually it's a week from tomorrow.
Yeah.
There have been years where it was like February 2nd.
Yeah.
Or February 3rd.
But then other years, it was like the end of February.
It's a very strange thing. It all comes down to it's what kicks off technically Lent, which leads to Easter. So the different days that Easter happens on, I don't know how we figure that out.
It is.
I don't know who comes up with that. There's probably a rule I don't know about. But
so just meaning it rotates throughout the month.
Yeah. It happens on different days, different years, different whatever.
Now, we do not do much for Mardi Gras, if anything.
We should.
Besides this coffee that we have this year.
Yeah. See, I think just drinking coffee sounds good.
Normally, someone would go get punchkis. There's those really heavy donuts, like with the apple and cherry, but I don't know if anybody will get any this year.
We could.
I feel like it's been a few years. They're just not my favorite, but you feel like you have to have them.
Well, it's one of those things where they don't taste that great.
Sure.
And so you're like, you can have a regular donut or a punchki, and you're like, I guess I'll just have the regular donut.
If you like fruit-filled, again, very heavy donut, then you would like these sort of things.
Yeah.
But there is a reason why it's just once a year.
Yeah.
If you have it.
Well, if like me, you're afraid you missed Mardi Gras, I just want you to know that you haven't.
This is Radio U's worst of the Riot.
So I had some friends. I got a bike. Somebody gave me a bike last year, which was really awesome. But
people are like, what's the big deal? It was very hard to find a bike during last summer because everyone was buying stuff to work out and just be outside at home.
It's crazy.
So it was very hard to find a bike.
Crazy hard. So here it is, like the middle of February. It's not in the middle, it's the beginning of February. And, low temperatures, at least. Well, actually, they said over the weekend that it was below freezing in all 50 states somewhere.
Yeah.
So even it was northern Florida. They still had a place where it was like freezing or just below freezing.
Sure.
So cold weekend, right? So I was at Costco on Thursday and I was like, oh my gosh, they have bikes. So I texted a friend of mine. I was like, hey, Costco got bikes, whatever. And so they had these 2 bikes sitting out and then they had, I don't know, 5-6 pallets of boxed bikes. You'd have to assemble it yourself. Sure. So I texted them, didn't hear back from them. And then Friday morning, they were like, hey, would you be willing to go over there and grab one of those bikes for me? I was like, yeah, sure. Whatever. I'll just go get it.
I think we know what happened.
I went over there. No bikes.
They're gone.
It's
like toilet paper. It's still gone.
Between Thursday and Friday at Costco, they sold
not a full day.
No. I mean, you figure I was there Thursday at noon, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. They sold all their bikes.
Wow.
But I got them.
What did you do?
Yeah, I was like, okay. I waved at somebody. I was like, hey, could you find somebody? I bought the floor model.
Oh, that's smart. Okay, so you still got one?
Yeah, I still got one, but it was the last one. They had one. Actually, it was technically 2 mountain bikes left of this one kind. And it's like that mountain bike that has a tire that's like 8-9 inches wide.
Oh, the big one?
One of those.
For the real mountain biking that we do in our neighborhoods.
Yeah, look, for people that really know what they're doing. But yeah, I ended up buying one, and they were like, I must have been told 20 times, no, we're not going to take any money off. Because it's a display. I'm like, look.
They don't need to because there's no other ones.
Like, don't you understand? This bike is worth 3 times what I'm paying for it.
And it was only on the floor for a few hours, so it's not like it's been used a bunch.
No, it gets better.
Mm-hmm.
There was another guy behind me that was like, hey, if you don't buy that,
he would?
I want to buy it.
So did you go the one over there?
Yeah.
Can I tell you the trick? You
What?
go to the one over there. They always have stuff still.
Oh, really?
Because this one, we have 3 Costco's near us.
Yeah.
That one is always so busy. Because I went once a few weeks to grab something. It was completely sold out there. You go over to that one, and there's pallets full of everything.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. So if you want to try to find something, you just have to go the other one.
What I'm trying to tell you is that if you're looking for a bike and you're like, yeah, like March, April, now.
You must buy the bike now.
Now.
And you might not even get it. You could be too late. You should have bought it ahead in January, even though there was none.
Now. Get your bike. While there's still time.
That is a good thing to let people know that if you see things now, they just don't wait. They just get bought up.
Even I, knowing that was a thing, it blew my mind that I went back in there and it's like they must have sold 50, 60 bikes in an afternoon. That's crazy. Wow.
And you got one.
I did. The guy actually said, too, he's like, hey, you really need to double check this thing because when they put these together to put them on the floor, they don't build them real strong.
The Riot really wanted to do this live, but now they can play video games and eat rice cakes instead. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
Dude. At first, when I saw this, I was like, oh, here we go. Coffee beer. No. High brew coffee. Mm-hmm. And you're like, no, so marijuana beer. No, it gets weirder and cooler.
What is it?
It is it's a can of coffee that you buy that is apparently a cold brew that they make.
Yeah.
But at the bottom of the can, you twist it. And I don't know exactly what the chemical reaction is that takes place in there, but it heats up your coffee in 2 minutes.
Really?
So you have a warm cylinder of coffee from this cold coffee that you had. What?
Well, a lot of people, if you know, in Japan, there are vending machines where you get hot cans of coffee, and that's like how they get their coffee during the day. They wouldn't necessarily always go into a coffee store. You just go to the vending machine, and it's hot coffee in a can right there.
So it is 200 milligrams of caffeine. Ooh, that's a lot.
That's a bit intense, isn't it?
It's a lot.
That's going for all there.
It's dairy-free. It's sugar-free. It's just what they call...
It's just caffeine.
It's black and bold.
It is something.
Black and bold.
Are they offering a not as bold flavor with a little something in there?
Yeah, but it doesn't do the heating thing.
Oh, okay.
So like they offer other kinds of cold brew. They've got double espresso, Mexican vanilla, dairy-free, black and bold, but it's cold. And then you have this self-heating can. Now, a 4-pack of these self-heating cans. What do you think, Nikki?
Oh, self-heating can, 4-pack, pretty strong mix. $15.
$15? 20.
Yeah, $20? Okay,
Yeah,
that's expensive.
Yeah. It's currently sold out.
You can make it at home, and it's hot there, too.
Well, yeah, but Nikki, I love, if you scroll down, no, it's not them. It was somebody else showed a picture of people camping. And they were like, it's like, oh, look, we can just...
Well, it's the convenience of it, yes, but that's expensive. Anytime something is convenient, then it's going to be more money.
Coffee in the can. And
then it's heating up whenever you want to.
Yeah, so when my solar-powered coffee maker isn't working, I need something to stand in the gap for me.
iBrew needs to realize a lot of us aren't doing all this stuff they have their pictures of. So
that may be true, but they did sell out.
But it's just probably smaller amounts. And normally for everybody else, you need more, larger amounts of coffee. You drink your 4-pack in no time.
I actually think that's part of why they have that. They're advertising that it's 200 milligrams of caffeine. It's almost like they want to say, hey, I know you think it's not enough. It's enough.
So slow your roll.
You're going to get what you need.
You don't want to drink too much of this too fast.
Yeah. So.
Well, fun, I guess. The self-heating can. So that is sold out.
Fun. I guess.
Well, we understand about overdoing things, so I can see us overdoing this.
That's true.
You're like, oh, I don't even notice it. And then a few hours later, when you come down from wherever you've been, actually, no, then that's when you are going out and doing all these things outside because your body loses control.
That's right. You've had so much caffeine.
You can go camping, you'll go mountain climbing, you won't remember any of it.
It suddenly makes way more sense.
It does.
It does. So, again, it's High Brew Coffee, and they're somewhere in Texas.
I wish you could reuse the can. That would be something nice. Like if the top and the bottom was something you could just redo.
Oh, now you're just getting ridiculous. There's
I know.
only
Never
so
mind.
much they can do,
Never
okay?
mind.
The reusable one is $40 a pack.
Ooh, the coconut and cashew milk one sounds good. A toasted coconut.
We should get some coffee.
I have coffee right here.
Listening to the worst of the riot is the equivalent of standing in line at the BMV. Ugh. Worst of the riot. Radio U.
We got a text from Jerome earlier asking us how many movie commercials we saw during the Super Bowl last night, which he's got a really good point. Normally, the big blockbuster movies of the summer, a lot of times, like your first glimpse of them, not always, but sometimes, would be in a Super Bowl commercial.
Mm-hmm.
No Super Bowl commercials.
No.
Well, there were some. Okay, so there was, I found a list here from IGN where they've gathered them together. They're counting Marvel's Falcon and Winter Soldier. That's not a movie.
But it's the new thing, so I think it's fine to still count it because it totally looks like a movie, so it looks better than a normal show.
So we got that F9, which is Fast and Furious 9.
But that's not till next year, right?
I know, but it still had a Super Bowl commercial last night.
It might have already paid for the spot a long time ago. I mean, who knows? Just throw it out there.
Totally possible. And then I don't know if these are shows or movies. There's one called Nobody, and then one called Old.
That's the M. Night Shyamalan one.
Right, but is that
I think it's a movie.
Or is it a show?
No, I think it's a movie.
Okay.
Could be wrong, but I think it's a movie.
Raya and the Last Dragon.
That's a movie.
I just want you to know, I saw somebody tweeting about the Last Dragon Super Bowl spot.
Yeah.
And
Did you think it was something else?
Not everybody's going to get this, but there was in the mid-'80s a film that was released, I believe it was Golan Globus, and it was I think it might have been the first and only movie that came from Detroit music. I can't believe I can't think of it. Anyway, whatever. But like that movie, when I heard that, I was like, oh my gosh, they've done something with that movie.
It's not. No. It's not. It's an animated.
It's not that.
Disney movie.
And then there was a spot for Coming to America.
Yeah, but that's
Amazon.
That's Amazon, and I don't know if it is in theaters. I
don't think it is.
I think that's just Amazon Prime.
At the very least, it's going to be in theaters or at home.
No, I haven't seen theater stuff, and I've seen a lot of ads for that. I think it's just Amazon Prime. So if you're looking at the amount of movies that are coming to actually in theaters, it's not. There's not a lot of stuff going there.
It's kind of a bummer. I really feel the absence
of the movie stuff. Yeah.
But I mean, basically, I feel like I'm starting to transition. I am really starting to watch movies at home.
Mm-hmm.
I think I watched 3 movies this weekend. I watched another one last week, just in the middle of the week. And this is normally prime movie time for me, so.
There's not much. Jerome got back with us. He said at the end of the old trailer, only in theaters, huge bold letters. So they're making a statement with that.
Oh, yeah.
Only in theaters.
Only in theaters till we can't make no money on it. Then we gonna sell it.
Then they change their mind with it. But it still looked interesting. That one looks suspenseful.
I haven't even seen the trailer for it. Like, it's Shyamalan. It'll just be like, old, but then at the end he was young the whole time.
But his last couple of ones were better. Like he had some old movies. I rewatched Signs the other week.
Oh, it's fantastic.
It's still scary.
It's an amazing movie.
It's still very scary.
It's an amazing movie.
So he had like his heyday back a long time ago, and then there was a couple of, I think, missteps, and then he came back with some good ones. So maybe this will be good.
Using advanced technology, we've digitized and transcoded Obadiah and Nikki into a purely digital format. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
So Tom Brady is 43.
Mm-hmm.
And that
he was the oldest player in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he was. And he also was, the GOAT, as they say.
Still one of the best, if not the.
Yeah. And so a lot of people are wondering, how's Tom Brady do it? Well, we have here Tom Brady's diet, Nikki.
In case you're waking up this morning, you were so inspired from the game yesterday that you're like, that's it. We're making a change. What do we need to do?
Let's take a look at what he is off the menu for him. First off, he's gluten-free. But second, he also no coffee, no white sugar at all, no flour.
No flour?
No tomatoes, no mushrooms.
No eggplant?
I wonder what that's about.
They say some of this is inflammation. So it's
an anti-inflammation diet.
Basically.
Okay. Yeah, all right. So he wakes up in the morning and has water with electrolytes. Then he breakfasts with...
I don't even think his electrolyte stuff is like Gatorade for us. I think it's even next level.
It's so far past what... this has I don't know.
Stuff we can't afford.
It has the tears of aliens captured at Area 51.
The tears of endangered animals.
Yes.
That fuels his body.
Avocado and eggs, followed by another thing of water and a post-workout protein shake. Okay. Then for lunch, salad with nuts and fish. For snacks, he can have some hummus, some guacamole, or some mixed nuts. And I bet he's allowed to have, probably at least an ounce.
Which is just a small handful.
Yeah. And then for dinner, roasted vegetables, chicken. Game day is smoothie and almond butter and jelly sandwich. That's what he's eating for games.
See, the difference between when you take this and you read it and you go try to replicate it, to me, to eat your own at home, to eat healthy... He has probably a chef and he has a dietitian and they have people that make that menu taste good. You know, when you make vegetables for you at home, it tastes terrible, which is why you give up. They have someone who does something and makes it amazing, which is why he can probably sustain a diet like that.
He knows how to make it.
They know what to do. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you look at his...
You're supposed to buy local, by the way.
Right.
And organic.
Right. And
all of it.
If you look at his day, I will say this. We often look at somebody like Tom Brady and we think they make so much money, they get whatever. This guy basically starts his day at 5:30. He ends it at 8:30 at night. So right there, he's getting about 9 hours of sleep, but he just about works the entire day.
Yeah, keeps going.
You see him take breaks during the day, spends time with his family, spends time with whatever, but then... that's it.
He's very structured.
He works all day long.
Look, he only cooks with Himalayan pink salt. I have that. You have that. We have pink salt.
I've got some of that.
We have something in common.
And just like Tom, every day at 10 a.m., I spend an hour on the beach.
That's also just a given.
Every day. It's just something I do.
He says he likes to treat himself occasionally. He'll have bacon. He'll have a piece. Is what he's been quoted of having before. Or pizza. And if he wants pizza, he'll just eat a slice.
Yeah.
Of the best pizza. He wants to make sure when he cheats, it's the best one.
So he flies to Chicago to some back room, whatever. You got to have a password to get in. Yeah.
No, he just says that if you're going to cheat, make sure it's a quality item that's worth what you've done for that cheat time.
What you've done.
Good for him. You can't...
Thanks, Nikki.
Well, you want to be supportive, and obviously he has done this for many, many years, but he works hard at it, so it's not like he doesn't try.
Well, as Joyce Meyer said, Nikki, she taught me a lot with this statement. Don't want what someone else wants if you're not willing to do what they did to get it.
That's right. So Tom Brady, that was his diet.
Yeah, but the thing that's hard is even if I did this, I'm not getting that.
Well,
that is something that
that's because we'd only
nobody includes that, but that
we could only do this for 7 days before it drives you crazy and before you're out of money. And the 7 days wouldn't be enough to turn you into Tom Brady.
I'm gonna go get some coffee. Thanks, Tom.
See, already right there.
Already,
he has
I'm off
no
the
coffee.
list. I know.
We would give the Riot flowers to show our appreciation, but Obadiah's probably allergic. What isn't he allergic to? This is the Riot on RadioU.
Dr. Jill Biden, which just as a side note, there's this weird run of people mocking her for being Dr. Biden. I just got to let you know, if you go to college, That's pretty much what you call most of your professors. They have a PhD, and when they earn their PhD, they want to be called doctor, and that's okay. I heard people like, well, if I was dying, she couldn't help me.
It's not that.
It's not that kind of doctor.
It's not that doctor.
That's fine. So she is actually teaching her classes from the White House. She's still teaching. She's teaching via Zoom. That's amazing.
That must be a secure connection. Going in there.
So her students call her Dr. B, and she has become the first lady to keep her quote-unquote day job while still being the first lady.
Because normally if they have something, they drop that going into the White House. Yeah, rightfully so for a lot of them.
Man, I'll just tell you right now, if I was the first husband or whatever we're going to call the first gentleman, I would just be like,
bye.
I'm out.
Later.
And they're like, you have a lot of duties to perform. Yeah, like sleeping in late. That would be. Now, see, this is why
you'd probably be more motivated when you were there.
I know. When I was there, I would treat it differently. But when I think about being put in a position of authority, the first thing I think of is, how can I abuse this?
How can you not do anything you want then anymore?
Actually, no. You know what? It's not even how can I abuse this. It's just, how can I just sleep as long as I want?
Yeah.
Is that so
But then
wrong?
there'd be articles and rumors about you and how you're like the laziest, first gentleman ever.
But I'm the everything first ever, probably. Right?
So they have nothing to judge that against.
I'm setting precedent. And so all these people are trying so hard to set precedent, and I'm out there just like, yeah.
Still in bed.
Who else can brag the president makes him a sandwich? I'm not that guy, actually.
Good.
But I think this is really awesome. She's out there continuing to teach her classes. Now, will she keep doing that as the semesters roll on? I don't know. But she made a commitment to students this semester. She's keeping it by teaching her classes from the White House.
What college does she teach for?
Northern Virginia Community College. So I think that is cool. So there she is. And she's, like I said, first one to keep her day job. Though I wonder what happens to that money. Because I don't think, like when you're, like as president, what do they make? $400,000 a year, I think. It's $450,000. They got a raise recently. They don't live off of that money until they get out.
Yeah.
Of the
then
White
they
House.
collect it.
Yeah. So I don't know how that works.
So does she get paid while she's in, or does she have to wait?
Do you get paid first lady money? Does the college pay you?
Maybe with her class, she was paid already. Like, hey, you run this class, here's your payment, and then go for it.
And what happens when you're the president or the first lady and you're just like, look, I don't want to be weird. Like, I just want to order that, Tenet 4K Blu-ray. Like, what do you...
I bet you don't even have to ask. Well, I mean, you tell somebody, but you don't have to do anything.
And it just appears?
It's just marked under something else. They're like, you're just learning.
There you go.
Learning about what's going on.
They're like, no, Mr. President, in the basement, they have all the movies.
Actually,
they have a movie theater.
Okay, if you were first gentleman, you could buy all the movies you wanted because then it becomes a part of the White House library, like in the place, and you're just adding to the movie library inside the White House, and you can just take it with you when you go.
Like, sir, First Lady Joe Biden continued to work from her. Turn the movie up louder.
I ordered 5 more. Please send them in when they come.
Turn it up louder.
So you could totally buy whatever you wanted and just say it was there for the White House.
Man, you know what? Me as first gentleman, it would be more like Kevin in Home Alone 2. In bed, people bringing me all kinds of ice cream, and I'm just watching a movie.
And they have to be okay with it.
Well, good for you, Dr. Biden.
If you're looking for all the funny moments you missed during the riot, we apologize. You won't find them here. There weren't any. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
Oh, man. I don't know why I'm being such a jerk about it. I
think you're tired. From the weekend when you're supposed to come back refreshed.
Exhausted. No, you know what? Okay, maybe I'm glad you said that because what I'm about to say is probably going to come off as like tired, angry Obi.
Yeah.
But
get off my lawn.
Would you guys mind if I just had a little moment of honesty with you? I'm scrolling through a feed here, and here's an ad for Cobra Kai. The hit Netflix show. Started on YouTube, migrated to Netflix. The poster is incredible. It looks amazing. Like this art they've put together, I'm like, man, this is something I really want to watch. And then when I go and watch it, they put more work into this poster than they did the show.
But everybody said season 3 was better.
The show looks like it was maybe shot on your friend's third generation iPhone that his parents refused to upgrade for him. And
it's not that bad.
It does. It just looks so cheap.
But that was like the first thing. You know, you're a couple seasons in, and they say it's better, and they say the Netflix season will be better.
Okay.
A lot of you guys told us the most recent one, it was better than you thought.
I don't know. Again, maybe I'm just running in the wrong circles, but I feel like everywhere I go, people are talking to me about Cobra Kai. It's showing up in my feed. And then when I sit down to watch it, I'm like, I just can't, okay?
But why is it you just can't that? But then you go back and watch all these old movies from like the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and those things look bad.
But they're trying.
Well, why are you saying the Cobra Kai people weren't trying?
Maybe they are, but I don't.
They were trying.
Okay.
Trying in some of the stuff that you've seen.
Every time that kid and Johnny, it's Johnny's kid, and he's like, you don't love me. I'm stealing laptops from the store to get money. I'm just
just seem grumpy.
You know what? I can't watch this.
Never mind then. Don't watch it. You don't need to watch it.
But these posters look so
Then
good.
just look at the posters, but don't watch the show.
Just stare at a poster and imagine it.
You and the show are not meant to happen.
Just imagine what would happen.
No, here's what's going to happen. Like 6 years from now, you're going to go back and you'll be like, why didn't I ever watch through the whole thing?
I love it so much.
And you're going to love it so much. That's what happens when it's finally old, then you'll go back and watch it.
She's right. She's telling you the truth
so
right now.
Until then, he won't be interested, but eventually one day it'll happen.
Come on, Nikki. You know me.
How to survive the riot. Do the complete opposite of everything they say. You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
I promised that we were going to exercise shame you. And
come closer to the radio because that's what we love to hear.
Come on, I'm going to help you meet your fitness goals through feeling worse about yourself.
Oh, that's the whole industry right there.
It kind of is.
That's what runs it.
Actually, this is the other way around. I find this inspiring. This guy, 101 years old.
Whoa.
His name is John Cochran.
And he's still doing something with fitness?
He goes to the Y 3 to 5 times a week and works out.
Congratulations to him.
Now, he does say that he really started to feel it once he got over 100. That's when he started noticing, something of a decline.
Oh, he started noticing his age?
But he was like, whatever. He says that most people his age wouldn't be working out. And here's his quote. Well, shame on those people my age.
Aw.
He's saying you should get out there and work out.
3 times a week he goes to the Y? Why?
So
why are you doing that?
His daughter, if he's 101, what's his daughter? Like 85?
Yeah, she'd be just as old.
So she says he'd go every day if he could.
Aww.
But apparently he doesn't go every day, but 3 to 5 times a week.
I wonder what his workout looks like. It's probably way more than more than what we're doing.
He says that he has 18 different exercises that he does, including pull downs. He says, I lift, I push, bands, leg exercises, all kinds of different stuff.
Even during COVID, he was still going?
Yep. And he says this, I encourage all you young people, stay with it. The longer you stay with it, the more you put off some of the aging that naturally takes place.
Or start it.
Well, you could start it. Well,
I know he's saying stay with it, but we might have to start it in the first place.
I'll tell you what's interesting about this is that I've done some reading in the last couple of years, and one of the things they say is that most of what we deal with in aging has a lot to do with just lack of use. Mm-hmm. And so
moving your body, you mean?
Yes. Yeah. They say that in reality, of course, like certain kinds of sicknesses and disease in a lot of ways are beyond, there are things that happen, et cetera, et cetera. But when it comes to just aging healthily, they say frailty is really something you choose by not strengthening your body, that you could get old and not necessarily get frail. There's a certain amount of whatever that age is going to do to you. But Tom Brady's a good example. They talk about how in reality, they're like, well, you're not in the shape you were in high school or whatever. And it's a result of not using, and that's why you lose things. That if you would continue to use them, then
and they
you
always
would keep them.
say, even though we think, oh, it's it's like it's Monday today, but say it was the end of the week, and they're like, why bother doing anything this week? They say that even if it's a little something, you can actually notice the help that it gives your body, and they always say, yeah, it's never too late, even though you might not be into something yet.
Yeah, well, there he is.
Good
100.
for him.
I know. I really do think it's inspiring. There's a guy. I don't work out at the same place anymore, but there's a guy I used to talk to all the time. He was 95, and he was
always
in there.
At the gym?
Yep, he was in there lifting, and he told me, he's like, I can't work out like I used to, but
he still gets out
I'm
and
still
does something.
here. And I told him, I was like, dude, total inspiration for me. That's awesome. And it was great. It was good to get a chance to talk to him.
Worst of the Riot podcast.
All right, so let's talk about Sam. Sam says, how's the beard coming along this week?
Oh, yeah. How'd your weekend go with it?
First off, Nikki, how do you feel like it's looking?
Oh, it's growing in.
Yeah, it is.
Looks good. You had a big growth, especially right here. Is that your mustache?
Yeah, I think I kind of have to. Do you trim your lips out?
I think people trim the bottom of the mustache, don't they?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like
Yeah.
you get a little spit because it's starting to stick over.
Is it over your lips?
Yeah, I actually feel like I'm going to have to do some research on like how do you trim a beard? Like where shaping?
Yeah.
Like where are you supposed to keep shaving but then not shave
Sure,
anymore?
it's filling in very nicely. If you didn't look on Friday, we posted a pic because Obi's finally growing in a beard. If you go to our social media, RadioU Official on Instagram, RadioU on Facebook, or RadioU Riot, you can actually see what it looks like. But it's thicker even from the weekend, it's thicker today.
Yeah, this weekend, Nikki, I oiled it up.
Oh, you used beard oil?
No, I didn't have any beard oil. I'm still waiting on my beard. Yeah.
You used olive oil. Good.
I totally did.
We looked online. That's what you can do.
Yeah, I did that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I also exfoliated. Which I wondered if that's like, I don't know, but it's been on and off. Like I had some times this weekend where it was just like terribly itchy, just like, oh my gosh, I'm dying. And then other times where it's been fine.
Just bring your oil with you.
I guess.
Just spray it.
Well, you know what?
When you need a little bit.
I bought some beard oil from somebody who listens, actually. He hit me up on Twitter with it. And let me scroll. I should have been ready to say. There it is. Steve Gunther is his name, but he runs a barbershop, and I bought some of his beard oil.
Yay.
So that's coming, but I don't have it yet.
Everybody was saying on social media that you need to remember to, what do you do, then shave under your neck?
Yeah, that was a big one. But I'm just wondering, how far down do you shave? Because I was talking to somebody else that was like, yeah, don't shave too high up. He's like, because your neck fat hangs below your beard.
It'll look weird.
He was like, if you think you looked fat before, you wait until you have hanging neck fat below your beard.
There's a lot of rules to this stuff for you guys to have a beard.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff to it. It is more maintenance than maybe it was just shaving.
Probably, it's on par with, or maybe it's not quite as bad.
Maybe it's a lot of work in the beginning, and then once it evens out.
Now, what I don't want is, a lot of people think I want like a long beard. I don't want that. I just want to keep it like face shaped.
Sure.
Which that's my choice.
You're getting close. You're not there yet, but you're getting close to it.
Yeah, I have no idea how I'm supposed to maintain it. No idea.
Well, don't worry. Just trim it and use the oil for a while. I think you have a few more weeks.
Yeah, but the funny thing about it is that I don't like the way it feels, but I actually like the way it looks.
Yeah.
And I think it's the first time maybe in my whole life that I've ever looked at something and been like, I kind of like that.
It looks really good.
So
I think it's a good look, so you got to keep going.
At least short term, I remain bearded.
Why don't we maybe check in every Monday? So, Sam, make sure you remind him next Monday to see how it's going.
Yeah.
We can have our weekly update.
Things are never as bad as they seem, except when it comes to the Riot. Then they're worse. They're always worse. It's the Riot on Radio U.
I don't know if you would consider them a classic option, but the chocolate-covered strawberry, I think, can be a wonderful Valentine's Day treat.
And I think it's one you can actually do at home if you don't want to buy some. Like, if you buy the ingredients and just make it, it's totally doable.
The only thing that's difficult is, at this time of year is getting a really good strawberry. And that's just going to depend on where you go, et cetera, et cetera.
And you can get plenty of smaller, not so good ones. And I think the chocolate...
It does help.
It does help cover a multitude of sins, but it's still good.
Well, Nikki, here we have a new chocolate-covered option that I'm not interested in.
What is it?
A chocolate-covered jalapeno.
Oh. You think that's good, or...
No, I don't.
Well, I wonder why they would make it. Just to be something weird or different?
Maybe. I also think there are probably some people that would really enjoy it. Like,
yeah,
I'm
if
sure
they really
that's true.
Some spicy and put chocolate with it.
Just because I wouldn't like it doesn't mean that nobody would. There are plenty of people in the world of poor taste.
Well,
I just happen to not be one of them.
Feels like a joke.
It does.
That you're playing on your special someone. So if they don't like it, you should have some other alternatives ready to go, waiting in the wings.
I don't know. I can see that I know people that would probably like that.
Who like the spicier stuff.
Yeah. I mean, not me, but they're out there. Now, this is from, these particular ones are from a company called Harry and David. They do chocolate for a box of a dozen chocolate-covered peppers.
How much is it?
What do you think?
Well, I recently, before Christmas, was going to send Eric's grandmother a fruit bouquet.
Yep.
And one couldn't afford how much that fruit bouquet was. So I went with the cheaper option of like the strawberry chocolates. I sent her those.
Yeah.
But that wasn't Valentine's. Like this week, they're going to raise the price on these things. They're going to be way more than you think. So for how many jalapenos? 10? A dozen, 12? Maybe $40?
55.
Oh, it hurts. It's so much money. And then you got to pay a lot for shipping. A lot.
They also sell just a Belgian chocolate dipped fruit box. So it wouldn't be just
the jalapenos.
Yeah, it would be a mixture of stuff. You can also, oh gosh, now that sounds good. Apples, kiwi, blueberries, cherries.
All chocolate covered? How much is that box?
$100.
Oh, no, thank you.
You know what? I mean,
we can make this on our own. You just take the chocolates, you melt it in the microwave, and you dip it in. You can do this one.
It is, but it's never as good as the
Maybe it's
weird
better
chocolatier.
When it's not $100.
Well, there's a curve.
And it depends on the chocolate that you're picking.
Also true.
So if you take like a Hershey bar, melt it down, it's going to be delicious.
No, you got to get that cheap melting chocolate you buy at the store.
The baking chocolate?
There's the little wafers. Then you melt it.
You know, maybe you look for a dark chocolate or the words cacao. Like that means it's going to be a really bougie sort of chocolate. It'll be so good.
Perfect.
No, totally go for if you like the chocolate when you eat it, you'll like it on a strawberry.
That's fair. You might not like it on a jalapeno, though.
That you'll have to decide on your own. And let us know if you try it. That'd be interesting.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
People come up with stuff, and I'm like, why are you? Oh my gosh! I didn't even think about that. Why are you thinking about that? I'm reading this editorial here from let's see, where is this? Her name's Stacy Steinberg. She's an attorney and professor at the University Florida 11 College of Law. She says that whether it's you doing it or your parents doing it of you, we should really start thinking differently about posting pictures of kids online.
Oh, really?
So, like, for her, man, I'm telling you, I just, like, stuff that would never occur to you. Her point is, like, okay, you go in for a job interview. Your whole life is online, including that time you threw a fit in Walmart.
Oh, so, like, yeah, your whole childhood's posted online.
So, like, if your parents really dig in and start posting all that stuff about you, you're going to go into interviews, and they're going to have seen you in diapers when you go in for your interview.
And even if your parents are currently like, doing throwback photos of you and they tag you. So like they could still be doing damage now, even though you're not that young age.
It's crazy to think about it.
Yeah.
And like her angle, and I thought this was really good, is like, listen, this is the kind of stuff that may not be happening right now, but she calls out 2030. She says by the time we hit 2030, that photos will be like major ways that, one, you could be discriminated against in the hiring process, in the healthcare process, if they take a look at maybe they decide your environment wasn't this enough or that enough. The other thing she throws out is like identity theft. that identity theft is going to get easier and easier because they're going to be able to find you and go way back, find pictures of you, where you went to school, like all the answers to your privacy questions,
They're like,
all of that kind of stuff.
What was the name of your first dog? And you're like, well, I could just easily go online to find that.
Hang on 1 second, I'll get it.
Yeah, that's all you need. That is true. You have to be aware of that.
I mean, maybe I'm just dumb, but it never occurred to me.
Now, there's so many layers to that. I mean, not just for, when we're younger and all of our privacy gone with that, but like say you're going on vacation. Let's just imagine we were going on vacation.
I'm sorry, a what?
A vacation, like physically for theft too.
Is that where you're sick and you have to stay home?
No, it's where you can actually go somewhere to enjoy something else for a vacation amount of time. But they were saying how your privacy, when you're gone, we document the whole vacation. Well, that's just like someone has free reign to your place while you're gone because you show where you live, you show this and that, and they can just break on in.
Yeah, it's a good call.
So privacy is important physically and, digitally.
It's a strange thought. I mean, it's a good thought. It's something I suppose we should be thinking about. As Nikki and I do what we do, I have a tendency to think 2 or 3 times about the photos that I post, but still.
Which is why you'll only see my doggies. No, just teasing. They're safe and sound.
Well, I hope your doggies aren't your password names.
I know that's true. Yeah, that's right. They're not, thankfully. But that is a good point. You got to remember that.
Yeah.
And you know that I have dogs at home, and they're going to bark if you try to get over.
They're going to bite your face off. Just kidding. They'll love you and snuggle with you.
No, one will bark for sure. Out of all of them, one will definitely bark.
Yeah.
But it's good to remember and just always be aware of what you're posting, or you might have to have a talk with your family, like your parents, to remind them about what they're posting about you.
Could we stop? She actually has a list of things that you should consider. She says, moderation, don't use a kid's name, use your privacy settings. And one of them is, as a person grows older, a child, give them veto power over what is and isn't posted. I'm fascinated by this stuff. I read this huge fight that there was this mommy blogger who had a daughter who hit a certain age and was like, no, you can't post that. And she was like, yes, I can. This is my job. It's fascinating stuff. So, yeah, keep fighting with your parents, I guess. No, that's not what this
that's what you ended it up.
Well, I'm trying to learn a lesson.
Okay, just how about we all be aware what we're posting no matter what?
That's a good one.
Okay,
I like that.
That works across the board. Just give yourself a glance over what you're posting first before it goes out.
Are people really still listening to the Riot? You don't have work to do or laundry to fold or literally anything else to do? The Riot, Radio U.
So, Nikki, I would like to get your take on this. You just tell me what you think. I live in a neighborhood. So, I live in a house. There are other people around.
Yeah.
I mean, moderately sized lots. So I'm not in, that one community where you got to go through the gate and they look like they live on horse farms. It's not like that.
But you're also not the other side where it's like the row houses.
Right. It's
where
not that
it's just
either.
Right next to each other.
So I live in this whatever.
A subdivision.
And there is somebody in our neighborhood that I don't know if they've only started doing this or whatever, but they have a dog. They obviously, at least this is my take on it, their dog is outside barking all the time.
Aww.
Constantly.
Yeah, during the day.
And so my perception is that their dog barks in their house a lot because I walked past their house and heard their dog barking.
Yeah.
And they get so tired of it that they put the dog outside.
But it's not like they can't hear the dog barking outside.
I know. But see, that's the thing that gets me is then we all get to hear it. All of us.
It's all fun.
All of us get to hear it.
Oh, gosh.
That dog never stops barking.
It might just be the type of dog. They need to do something.
Okay, so then I'm not being a grumpy old neighbor by being dude, look, put your freaking dog in the house. I'm sorry it bothers you, but that's not my problem.
No, I have dogs that bark, and when they're outside, if they bark, I bring them right in because that's not, you're supposed to be better than that.
So there's a dog owner etiquette at play here.
There is, and it's really hard because a couple of doors down, I'm looking at you, Cosby, there's a dog that's a neighbor dog, and that dog...
Is that their name?
That's
Cosby?
the dog's
That's
name.
the dog's
and the
name.
dog constantly talks to our dogs, and they talk even through inside the house. They can hear each other. So Cosby's over there there barking all the time, even during the day, not even outside at our dogs. So then our dogs are like talking back and forth.
How awful is it to live in between the two of you?
I know, it's the worst. But that's why when they do bark, they wear collars. Like, you have to be on them just to stop them from, even though to them they're just chatting, they're just talking.
Sure.
It's not necessarily a mean thing for a dog to bark. They might just be talking out there, but they're not supposed to.
This dog, it's not, you know how you might hear some variation in tone or whatever.
You can tell it's an angry thing.
And it's consistent.
Aww.
It's the exact same bark all the time. I don't know the dog's name, but I know the dog. I know what's going on. I know that that as soon as that dog goes out, it's going to, at the same pace, tone, timing. I mean, it's like a metronome out there. You could just play the piano to it.
Well, he wants to go inside. He wants to bark inside.
That's right.
There must be something wrong.
There is some. Okay. All right. I'm just glad to hear you say that.
That's not supposed to happen.
Because I have tried to be, one of the things I try to do is I'm annoying, and I get that.
We can be loud, just as people.
My neighbors are probably like, why don't you mow more often? Or plants, like whatever. I am sure that people have legit gripes with me, and I get that. I do. So I'm trying to just be like, you know what? I can endure with them. This is part of living in a community.
Well, why don't you do the anonymous letter thing? No. Not to them, but to your
Oh, yeah. To the homeowners association.
Yeah, you got to rat out on them. And then they're going to be like, who's the one who told?
Everybody's going to know it's me.
Because you're the one who's most vocal about it.
I just love how it's like, I can't stand this dog barking anymore. Here, it's everyone's problem now.
Send him outside.
There's a reason I don't have a dog, sir.
I know. But
or madam.
You like dogs, though, still. It's not because you don't like them.
No, hey, man, if you want to have a dog, great. Like, I would probably have a dog if it weren't for my allergies and my laziness. But
the two.
Well,
maybe I bet you this, honestly. I bet you the person's working from home now and doesn't want the dog inside.
Whatever it is.
So they send him outside.
I get tired of their dog.
And it's not okay.
The Riot Podcast. Radio U.
People be texting. Like Aaron. He texted and said, so have you been watching WandaVision, Obi? I'm really curious on your thoughts on the first few episodes.
Since WandaVision has started, every day we get lots of people who always ask, if you're up to date on it enough to where you have thoughts on it.
And it's funny, we really haven't talked about it very much. Like, Nikki, is Eric watching WandaVision?
I don't think he is, no.
Huh. It's interesting.
If he is, well, he's waiting. He's still finishing up all of his speakers that he's building. So there are certain shows that he's waiting on to watch when his whole, he has this home theater that he built. Once it's all finished, then he wants to watch them.
Well, he has this home theater that he's building.
Yeah, he's building speakers. He's literally building them.
Yes, and he put one of them out last night for the Super Bowl. He sent me a picture.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool. I love what he's doing.
They're so big, though.
It's awesome.
The subwoofers are so big.
The
other things
awesome.
To be, so they're just something.
It is awesome.
All right. It's all right.
Okay. So, Aaron's wanting to know about WandaVision. I've been watching it. I've been watching it a week.
Are you all up to date?
Yes, I am. I caught up. I seem to not watch it on Friday, but on Sunday, don't know why. It's just the way it happens. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I think it's fantastic. Really, really good stuff. So I know that a lot of people at first didn't like it, but even then, you knew they were going to do something.
Yeah.
And this latest one, they've been making their way through these kind of sitcom settings. So this latest one was an 80s sitcom setting, and it had nods to, I watched a video after where it was like, hey, this is from a show called Family Ties. This was from Family Matters. This was from, and it was all these just little things in the background or on the set or whatever that were there that was it's really kind of something to see.
Based on a lot of people that I see who watch it, usually on Saturday I start seeing people's response to the Friday one. It seems like you guys are going to be really sad when you're done with it.
Yeah.
It seems like everybody really likes it. There's emotions attached to it.
Right into Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Well, I know. That was before everybody, knew.
It's going to be interesting to see where it goes. It borrows from a bunch of comic book stories that I'm not familiar with. Mm-hmm. And so I'm curious. I love I think they've done a great job of bringing back some of the B characters from some of the movies that are great. Is it Marcy? Is that her name from the Thor stuff? And then the guy from Ant-Man who's the FBI agent. great. They're great together. They're great on, like, that's really good stuff. Bringing in Sword and, I can't remember her name. She's going to be like one of the main characters, but the one that got thrown into the show and then thrown out. Maria Rambo. It's her, like that
person.
She's great too. I love the actress. That's the little girl from Captain Marvel, which that's awesome. Like that kind of stuff where they're tying it in. I think it's really well done. It looks expensive. I'm sure it is, but I mean, it feels almost movie-like in its presentation, which is super cool. And I won't say anything more, but they did something this week that I thought, one, was amazing, and two, I really hope at one point the actress, why can't I get any proper nouns or names today? But she's the one that plays Wanda. She came out and she was like, oh, yeah, we're going to have a cameo that's going to be on par with Luke Skywalker in The Mandalorian. Oh, friend, I hope it wasn't that one.
Because not quite.
We're not there.
Not yet.
I'm sorry.
But overall, you like it. It seems like you do.
No, I'm really enjoying it.
So, Aaron, that's your answer. He's really enjoying it.
I love the kind of weird reality bending stuff. I love watching people starting to figure it out and like all of that. It's cool. So I'm curious to see where it goes. 3 episodes left. And then, whatever.
And you get like a week or two break.
And then we go on to Falcon and Winter Soldier.
So it's a busy time.
And Godzilla.
What a good time.
The worst of the riot is over, but the fun can keep going.
Hey, I saw you checking out my goods.
Check the Riot blog or stalk us on social media.
You want to sample them? A little try before you buy, huh?
Through riot.radiou.com.
Bel Grande. That's what you'll be screaming as you, well, never mind.